Coming up on this week's episode, 44 days later, Bryan Mbeumo finally signs. How do you fix the chasm that is Manchester United's midfield? Is playing Ahmad defensively clipping his wings? And Cropper's Transfer Corner covers familiar ground. Welcome to Fergie's Gun, a Manchester United podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Fergie's Gun. My name's Nathan and I'm joined by the man flexing into the camera with his big arms and his retro Manchester United shirt. It's Mr. Paul Cropper, all the way from Bury. How are you doing, mate?
Good morning. I'm all right. How are you?
I've been better, as we discussed off air. Yeah. My middle one was rushed off to hospital last night, having had a trampoline injury earlier in the day. Always dangerous, those things. Always dangerous.
No good for you, are they? No good for you, then.
But he's 7 years old and ripped his knee ligament, so he's out for pre-season.
Some ice on it. Get the ice bucket. Get that magic sponge. Be right.
I mean, he had frozen peas on it, but he did nothing for when I came in to move him overnight, and he screamed in pain as I was trying to shift him out of our bed. But anyway, he's all right. He's doing what he would have been doing anyway during the summer holidays. He's playing on the PlayStation with his legs up, so he's fine.
That's what Onana's doing now as well, isn't it? After playing on the mud swamps in Cameroon, similar.
Well, no, he's on the plane. We'll get to that in a bit, but he is out there. He is out there, mate. He's falling off. But the big news this week, mate, the biggest news, and it feels like we've been waiting for this for ages, and to be precise, it's been 44 days between first initial contact to actually getting him. But Bryan Mbeumo is now a Manchester United player. He's now on the plane, or I imagine he's probably landed by now, in Chicago for pre-season tour. It's over the line. How are we thinking about it? How are you feeling?
Woohoo! It's a great signing, isn't it? It is a great signing. I think everybody's jealous, aren't they? They're all. You've seen the difference in the pays, the sums that they're putting up for United and for other clubs, transfers and stuff like that. Makes me chuckle. What a signing up! Just a shame it dragged out that long. I put him in a few things there. We should be that excited about this transfer. Similar to when I was a kid, we signed Andy Cole. I know it's different signings, but I was so excited. I remember sending my man down, get me the latest shirt, Andy Cole on the back. You don't get that anymore, do you? With the transfers and with Romano, etc. You don't get that excitement anymore. But I think the 44 days has taken away 99% of that excitement. And you're just like, oh, right, okay, brilliant. Shouldn't be like that. The two main signings that we've got this year, as United fans, we should all be stupidly excited because they're what we need. The goals. What did the two strikers get last year between 7 league goals? Is that what they got between them? And that's what I've got here. This lad got 20 on his own. We should be super excited. I am. But it's just a shame what's happened. But you've got to give them credit. He's on that tour in America, isn't he? He's there. So, exactly. He's done. Really excited. Excited to see where he fits in. Gives us goals, pace, power. Exactly what we need. Brilliant.
I think we need to... Let's go back to what you were saying, though. The 44 days was stretched out for a long time. So that was from the initial bid to when he actually signed for the club. And it sounds like if you look at the full report that's on The Athletic, which I think Laurie Whitwell has written, he talks a lot about the fact that Brentford were playing a bit of games out there. You know, they know they've got a big asset. They know they don't want to lose him. They didn't want to lose Thomas Frank and then he's gone. They didn't want to lose Mbeumo and now he's gone. Johan Wissa was the other one, and it looks like he's about to go to Newcastle now. So, you know, Christian Norgard went to Arsenal with a lot less hassle than what happened with Mbeumo. But it's one of those things, when you realise that you have an asset, you're going to try and get as much as you can for them. So, bit of brinksmanship, bit of gamesmanship between the two clubs. But I am happy that it's over and done with. It just sounds like Manchester United just waited it out. It seemed like Wilcox and Ratcliffe were rumoured, or it was quoted as saying that they're fine. They're happy to just wait and just see how it goes. Because for Brentford, the longer that they wait to accept a bid to get the money in, the shorter time they have to actually go out and find someone and convince them to come and sign for Brentford. Because it's not that exciting place to be anymore when Mbeumo and Vissa was there and when Thomas Frank was there. Now you've got,
Tony.
is it Macaulay? Is it Gareth Macaulay that's the manager now? But,
it's like they've been stripped of all their assets.
Is it Gareth Macaulay? Hang on, wait a second. Hang on. I've got a feeling it's Keith someone. Hang on. Brentford manager.
Oh, the lad that was at Southampton?
Brentford manager. Who was it? Who's the manager now? It's not Thomas Frank. Keith Andrews.
Right.
Keith Andrews.
Yeah.
Now that is a manager that I can see them going straight down with him. But that's why I think they wanted to stretch it out for as long as possible and try and maximise how much money they was going to get. I think Manchester United always had the funds to pay whatever they was asking, but they didn't want to just give into it. So that's why we waited as well. And it's great. And as you said before, I do think there's a lot to be said about like social media and the likes of Fabrizio Romano taking the sting out of it. It's the same with everything though, mate. You can't just blame Romano. It's like I worked in the video games industry for 23 years. There's no excitement or build up to these things anymore. Everyone's desperate to find a screenshot of Grand Theft Auto 6 so that they can post it on the internet, and they don't want anyone to be surprised about anything anymore. And it's the same with this. We knew it was happening. It's now happened. We are excited, but probably not as much as we'd have been like when Berbatov appeared in the tunnel. Do you remember that at Old Trafford on deadline day?
Yeah.
And you see that grainy picture of him, that was
someone covering him with a coat. With a coat when they're walking into yeah. Brilliant.
Is it Dimitri is it Bigfoot? You just don't know because the camera wasn't in focus. But those types of things, they have been stripped away. But I am excited about seeing where Bryan Mbeumo fits in. I do still think, and we'll come on to this in a bit, but I do still think that we're short. I think we're short in a few other areas. But as you've said, Cunha and definitely Bryan Mbeumo, they bring us up to another level in terms of getting goals. And
quality,
we have rattled rival fans. We have rattled rival fans with that signing as well, because there was a comment on TikTok the other day that was on our Fergie's Gum TikTok talking about Bryan Mbeumo coming in. And the comment was something like, oh, yeah, you could take players from Wolverhampton and Brentford for loads of money. Yeah, that's a really big pull. And I was like, yeah, says who? Says you. Like, as if no one else has been in for them. Spurs wanted him. Thomas Frank was even quoted as saying that he wanted Bryan Mbeumo. He rejected
most
Champions
clubs in the
League
world.
football.
Yeah. Most clubs in the world would want them to be fair. But that's the life of a United fan. It's everything's you're living in the past, etc. It's just the way it is, and everybody. If you're up there, you're there to be shot at, aren't you? I mean, I know we're not up there in terms of quality, but of standing in the clubs, we're still up there, aren't we?
Understatement.
Yeah, to be shot at. But I'm sorry, I know you can see me there. I'm looking for the breakdown of the transfer, and I've got it here. I think that was probably the sticking point. And I know I've been on here and I've been criticising Ineos, and it's just fun, isn't it? But the breakdown of the transfer, 16.25 million is what I got. 16.75 million, like you said. It's a very good breakdown, and the two transfers that are coming in this season have cost us somewhere in the region of 38 million. If you're bringing in lads of that quality, putting them straight into your first team, which they will do, we'll talk about the team structure in a bit. They're going straight in them two, aren't they? And they're going to get you goals, they're going to get you assists, and for an outlay of that much, and to get them in before you've gone to America, I know it's dragged on, but you have to say, well done. You have to give them some credit there for that outlay.
You're talking
and that's where
when you say 38 million, you're talking about the spread cost of it, aren't you? Like
yes, yeah.
Okay,
the initial cost of T United this season for those two is 38.5 million. Obviously, there's going to be more over the next, I think it's 3-4 terms, like seasons, of have to pay the rest of the transfer. But if that's your outlay, and that's what they were looking at doing, that's probably where Brentford have been like, hang on, we want the money in full. Like a lot of other clubs are saying to other transfers. Just doesn't work that way anymore. Don't work that way anymore. For United to do that, you have to say, well done. He's on there in America. Let's see how he does. See how he fits in the team. What a signing. Well, I'm really excited. It just reminds me of,
you started
Go
off
on.
with saying that you weren't excited about it and that you was furious about knowing
Yeah,
about the thing. But I can see you are excited about it, and it's good.
yeah.
We should be excited about him as a signing. We should be excited about any player that comes into the club, as long as it's not
Goals.
someone that's rubbish. So
Yeah, goals.
that's it.
Goals, goals,
Yeah,
goals.
exactly. Well, you've kind of we made a nice segue, so I think it's probably good to we can congratulate Ineos on bringing Bryan and Mbeumo in, but I think we can move on to have a little break here and then talk about pre-season because it's already underway. So as we said in the last part of the podcast, we were talking about the pre-season and where Bryan Mbeumo is going to fit into it, as well as Matthias Cunha. We've already had a look at him in the 0-0 draw against Leeds United at the Strawberry Stadium in Stockholm, I think it was, that we was playing at.
Look nice, didn't it?
Yeah, it did look nice. Bore draw, 0-0. Did you
Mhm.
watch the game? That's the first question.
Saw 40%, 40, not even half of it. I saw work, unfortunately, gets in the way of life, doesn't it? But I caught bits of it, saw the highlights, saw enough, I think, what I saw. Did sometimes the free seasons are not great, especially when you're swapping and changing. I must admit, I thought Cunha looked very good though. Yeah, just from what I saw of him and highlights as well that I've seen, he looks a different level than what we've got. Don't he? It's literally what I expected from him. To be fair,
But you know what the thing is, though, with what you're saying there, it's a really basic thing that he does. When he picks the ball up, he drives forward with it. And
yes,
like that should be the bare minimum that you do as a
yeah,
footballer. But we don't
but
seem to. There's a directness, but there's also purpose to it. I think that's the issue. I think quite often we've had this squad has basically just charged out, run down the wing and tried to play this same tactic over and over again, and it's not quite worked. And we haven't had legs really in midfield that can push the ball and progress it. Kobbie Mainoo can do that every now and again, but he's not a 90 minutes worth of that. He'll do it when he can. But it was refreshing to just have Cunha picking it up in midfield and going, right, I'm off. And then Leeds United players just sliding into him, trying to bring him down because that's all they could do. He was quick off the mark for it. But just going
also
back to
when
the
it,
pre-season,
yep,
sorry, just going back to the pre-season
yeah,
squad. So Cunha's in there, and Buemo's in there. Onana's in there, which was a bit of a surprise because he's injured. So I guess he's gone for the vibes. Were there any surprises for you in that squad? You've got the lineup in front of you, I guess.
Reece Monroe going. I mean, they do this on the preseason, take a few kids, so look at them, don't they? But no, I'm glad Sekou Kone is gone. There's not really surprises. Mantato, I know he's
Yeah.
really highly thought of, and he could be a surprise this season if he kicks on, because I know he's really, really highly thought of, skillful, can play on the right wing back as well. That'd probably be his position if he came in. Yeah, it'd be good to see him. The others, though, no, you're looking at it going, okay. Well, you're looking at it thinking, is that enough? That I'm looking at it now, and you've asked me to pick my starting 11. And
We'll do that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well,
but
no, you take some of the kids to have a look at them, and you just, it's the squad, isn't it? There's not many surprises from there. Obviously, the lads that haven't gone is the big one. The ones that they're not taken and said you're not welcome. I'm happy about that. We'll see how they do.
I think I don't even think it's worth like speaking about those guys anymore because they feel so
I
far
agree.
gone at Manchester United.
Yep.
Like we can only concentrate on what we've got here. So when I look at the tour squad and the graphic that I sent over to you where it's got all the names on it, I'm looking down at it's put into sections. So it's goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forwards. Which area? I've got my own opinions on this. Apart from goalkeeper, which area of the pitch, when you look at those players and you look at the sections that we got, which of those three areas do you think we are weakest in at the moment?
Midfield stands out like a sore thumb. He's very, very weak. He just, I mean, I know the gaffer said it as well after the game, did he? He said we're missing pace and legs in there. We all know that. You can see it a mile away. But yeah, when you look at that list, Casemiro, Toby Collier, Bruno, Jack Fletcher, Sekou Kone, Kobe, Mason Mount, and Ugarte. It looks very weak, doesn't it? It looks
It
leggy.
does.
It looks there's a difference between the young lads and then the old lads, and then there's nothing in between, is it? So we haven't got that in. There's Ugarte, probably you'd put in between there. Yeah, Mason Mount, whichever category you put in, but there's a big hole there, isn't there? And you could even see that against Leeds. They couldn't get out to Leeds, couldn't get out to their midfielders.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're good on the ball. They look tidy on the ball. The Leeds look like they had some decent players, to be fair. But yeah, we couldn't close them down quick enough, and the manager will not be happy with it because that's what he wants. And they couldn't get out to them. They were just knocking it around. If you haven't got young legs in there to do that job, you're going to struggle for 90 minutes, aren't you? Like you say, Kobe can do that he's got 2 or 3 sprints in him, hasn't he? And then, unfortunately, he can't do it again. That's not good enough for the Premier League. Not good enough at all.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And when you look at the midfielders and the ones that you just mentioned, like I would say I'd say defence is probably where we don't need to strengthen right now. Although push came to shove, we probably do need some sort of strength there. A Mark Gray style figure at the back alongside, a couple of fast defenders either side of him. But midfield and forward, I mean, we've Cunha and Mbeumo definitely bring that level up, but that midfield is absolutely crying out for someone to come in and take over and do that water carrying business. Ugarte was supposed to be that player, but he faded so bad last year that I got very worried towards the end of last season, thinking, is he actually going to be here next season?
Yeah.
As Amorim completely lost faith in him because he was on the bench and then he was dropped completely. He wasn't doing it. And he kept giving the ball away as well, wasn't he? In a few of the games, he kept giving the ball away. Got hooked.
Yeah. Which is not a good habit to have there, is it? If you're in that midfield, you can't give the ball away, can you? It's the worst habit to have. You can't win the ball back and you give them the ball away. But
so
you end up 15th, I suppose, don't you?
You watch a lot of football, mate, and you watch a lot of the youth stuff before. Like out of those players that are there, let's concentrate on the midfielders right now. Then, who has the most chance to try and get into the first team? Collier's already had a bit of a taste of it and then got injured. But between Collier, Jack Fletcher, and Sekou Kone, do any of those address the issue that we've got?
Sekou Kone, possibly. Sekou Kone, yeah. His physicality and his youthful, what's the word? Energy, because he will get about people. It's whether you only know when you throw them in, don't you? You only know until they play against that standard. You don't know until they're there, and then you have a look at them and go, right, okay. But you want the luxury of bringing him in for an hour, don't you? Playing in the cup games, and we haven't got that luxury. We need a guy to go in there and start. So if you throw him in there, and then after 3-4 games you go, yeah, you're struggling. Who do you put in instead? Do you bring Casemiro back in? Because I know if you're an opposition manager and you see Casemiro and Bruno as that midfield, you're going to get at him because you're going to have all the time in the world. Like his legs have gone, Casemiro. We all saw it 12 months ago, and you saw it again at the weekend. And like we said, I think I said it last week. We know what these lads can do. We've seen it, and the game at the weekend just because we all thought, oh well, it's a new season, it's a new preseason. No, same thing, just same thing, and it's going to be the same thing. You can't just be better after 4 weeks off. Just doesn't work, does it? Hoyland came on, but just did exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same. He's not going to be different, is it? He just got in the way of a shot, didn't he? And go back to the question you asked me. It's Sekou Kone possible. I know Jack Fletcher. There's a lot of people think very highly about him, but he's not that physicality machine that we need in there. He's more of a ball player. Get the ball off the fullback, play it, get it back. That's his game. Everybody needs a player like that, but what we actually need at the minute is a physical number 6 dominating in the midfield, can get the ball, can run both ends, and can cover ground.
Well,
Sekou Kone possibly, but we haven't got the luxury.
Okay, so that's from our squad then. But who would your choice be for the number 6? I know we talked about this before, but who clears up the midfield pivot that tidies everything up and allows everyone to play their game. So who is that for you?
There's not many around Europe when you look, but like I think I said it last week, Edison would be my choice. He really would, because he will get about them. A lad at Brighton that you mentioned as well. But it's another 50, 60 million, isn't it? And once again, you don't know until you throw him in there. But yeah, that Edison would be the one I would look at going getting, just because of his energy. I've got here that I was going to ask you, what is that is that where we need to reinforce first? Because it looks like the manager and the club are looking at a striker. I would argue now with them two lads coming in, we need a striker, but I think we need a centre midfielder more importantly now. Now we've got them two.
I think it might have been the key area that they was thinking about strengthening the striker before they played that Leeds United game. I think it is definitely still an area that they want to address, that Amarin wants to improve. But after that game, it's very telling that he came out and said, you can see that we're missing legs in midfield, or, to paraphrase him, he was basically saying we were getting run over, which is, you can't have that. You cannot have it. So I think attention has turned to getting a central midfielder. According to David Ornstein from The Athletic, it's a goalkeeper, a 6, and a striker that's left.
Yeah.
And if we're going for Hugo Ekitike trying to poach him from Liverpool, it's not going to happen now. He's signed with it. But if we was going to do that, that means that we've got excess amounts of cash that we can basically splash out on a striker of that amount. So we're looking at probably, without sales, we're probably looking at about 80 mil that we could spend. Yeah. Rashford's wages off the books for a year is another massive amount. So I think it gives you, it's either you pay 80 million for Sesko, and I know we'll get onto Cropper's transfer corner soon.
Yep, that's in there.
You either pay 80 million for Sesko, or you spread that cost over 40 million for a really good central midfielder. Edison's probably the one that you go and get, or Belieber from Brighton, although he probably cost you more.
Nice.
And Ollie Watkins, or someone that has Premier League experience. And that's the key. That's what they've been talking about. But, okay, players that we have there, players that are going to be playing this week in the States, what is your starting 11 with that squad that's gone on tour?
For the season?
Well, for pre-season, let's say for pre-season.
And I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll give him a starting 11 just overall, just because it's better that way, isn't it? So I don't think the keeper's going to be addressed this window. So Onana to start, unfortunately. What other option have you got? Kind of throw Tom Eaton in there. Tommy, you know what? He did quite well, actually, Tom Eaton.
He did.
Why not? Tom Eaton in that then. We'll go with that. My back three would be Lenny Yoro. I would go with Matthias De Ligt. And on the left, I would go with... who would I go with on that? Aiden Heaven would be on there, but Martinez coming back in. He's not fit yet, but that's Martinez's position there. But yeah, I would go with Aiden Heaven. You could Luke Shaw, but I would go with Heaven. I like him, Aiden Heaven, really do.
Okay.
I think he's mature, very good on the ball. My wing backs, I would go with. This is all dependent on who you're playing. I think this is what the manager will do as well. I would start Mazraoui as the right wing back, because I'm obviously not the biggest fan of Diego Dalot. I will go with Mazraoui there. I think he's got the qualities to get up and down as well, and the energy. Dorgu on the left. When I said it depends on who you're playing against, I think against the clubs at home, the teams that we're playing at home, I think the manager will go with Ahmad at the right wing back. I've got it in here to discuss. I don't think that works at all. But the manager, I think he'll go with that. Then in the midfield, this is where I struggled. I had to have a deep breath. I've gone with Ugarte and I've gone with Kobe Menu, but I can see that easily changing. I do. I think they will bring in someone in there, but if you're asking me my starting 2 6s, it would be them two. Then I will go, this is where, because you have to get Bruno in your team. I put Bruno in as a 10, and I've gone with him alongside Cunha, and I've gone with the new signing, Bryan Mbeumo, as the striker. That's what I've done.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting, mate.
because looking at them, I just think that's your best team. I do. I think Rasmus, Xerxes, I don't think they get in your best team. I think you need
No.
to find a place for Ahmad, but I don't believe you can play him as a right wing back. I think we'll get torched if you play him as a defender. I don't think he's got it in him. Not through any fault of himself, but I think that's what it'd be nice to see. Because if you've got Bryan Mbeumo taking that position up there, where does Ahmad go? I just can't picture that working. I don't know. I don't know. You get them both in the same team.
So I'm going to go on a slightly different tangent there. I'll name my team first, and I'll tell you why I think it could work with Ahmad at right back, which is giving you a clue to where we are with my squad. So the starting, and this is for the preseason tour. This is what I think will be the starting line.
Right. Okay.
With the best thing moving forward. Obviously, I want to see the new lads coming in. I want to see like Diego Leon playing. I want to see Jack Fletcher. I want to see these young lads getting a chance. So, but this is what I think would be the strongest lineup right now. So Heaton in goal. Not even joking. Get Tom in. He did all right against Leeds.
He did.
Yoro,
He did.
right centre back. De Ligt centre back, and Shaw left centre back.
Okay.
As my left centre back. Now, the reason why I want to do that is because I think Heaven can offer you something off the bench in terms of tying up a game. Like when Shaw's legs have gone, I think he can do something and help you tie up a game. I also think Shaw, playing with a regular left wing back, can really help to show them what they should be doing. So I think his presence on the pitch is going to be invaluable to whoever's playing that left back position, left wing back. And in my team, that's Dorgu. So I've got Dorgu left wing back. I've got Ahmad right wing back. Okay.
Ahmad right. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll come back to those two selections in a second. Across the midfield, mate, I've gone a bit different here. I've gone Bruno, Mainu, and Ugarte as three central midfielders. And up top in a false 9 and 10 position, Cunha and Mbeumo. Because I don't think any of the strikers... So I've gone with the new signings because I think that's where you get goals from. So it's very attacking, right? So the reason why I think it could work is because when we were playing Leeds, even though it was like a dog of a game, it wasn't great, especially in the first half where I thought, we were hanging by the skin of our teeth a lot of the time. But you could see what hammering ball is supposed to be. You could see that it's not just playing out in neat triangles at the back, but you look at some of those positions that Diego Leon was taking up, and then Dorgu when he came on, and then Dalot and Ahmad. Like they're in central positions, and it's impossible for defenders to... Who's picking this lad up? Why is Dorgu here on his own? If only those players could shoot, we would be quids in. But I think it'll take time. I think they'll get used to it. I think they'll develop into that role as the season wears on. But I do think that those wing back positions are going to be key, and I think you need legs that go up and down. And the reason why I think Ahmad works in that position rather than as a defender, I think it's because we need to be on the front foot when we're talking about when we're defending against teams. Like we're forgetting what United used to be. Do you know what I mean? We used to be all-out attack at times. We knew how to dig in when we had to, but we was flying forward, flying wingers. We was putting the pressure on them, and that's what we did in I think from the 60th minute onwards. We put the foot on the pedal, and you could tell the pressure just chasing everything down, not from midfield, but from the wing-back positions, from the forwards. They were chasing everything down. And that's why I think it can work in Amrim's system. I can see what he's trying to do, but there's 100% we need better players to be able to execute it. And that Cunha and Mbeumo is it's a marriage of convenience. That isn't the best way moving forwards. Because I think in Mbeumo's best position, he's out to the right.
Yeah. And that's what made me think I don't think him and Ahmad could. I think they'll take up exactly the same position. I think they'll get in each other's way unless you played him
Maybe
as
they'll
an
rotate.
out-and-out
Maybe they'll
striker.
rotate with that then.
Possibly. I saw Statman Dave again. I know I keep it first. I just love his videos, how in depth he goes, and he thinks that there is the chance that Mbeumo could play right wing back some games. Is that option there? I don't know if it's my brain being a defensive mentality. I don't know, Jose Mourinho kind of style. That looks weak to me on that right hand side. Just Lenny Yoro on his own. Just I'll do it all, lads. Don't you worry. You crack on, and I'll do everything here. He's going to get overrun. But this is the option that I think the manager's got, because we've got a game on a Saturday, a game on a Saturday, a game on a Saturday. It could be, right, you've got, I don't know, West Ham at home, and then you go, right, okay, we'll play Ahmad as the right wing back. We'll attack, we'll defend on the halfway line, we'll play in your half. That I can see working. And then you've got Mbeumo coming out to the right, Ahmad underlapping, etc. And then when you've got a game at Anfield, you play that team at Anfield, and you're going to get hammered. Absolutely. If you've got Ahmad tracking their left back, like Kirkes running down, he's a forward. He won't do it. He just won't do it. And you will. But that's where you bring Mazraoui in, because Mazraoui is your defensive option. That's where your tactical, that's where the squad actually doesn't look terrible, because you can actually change it there. But that midfield you've got there is a 3. It's not very physical, Nathan, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's not. I like the front two. I like the two. Yeah, the front two will press. They will press for 90 minutes and two as well. And there's Mbeumo. I don't know if you know this. He missed 4 minutes of last season. 4 minutes. He played every single game apart from that. That's what we need. We can't have these lads that crumble in October when it gets a bit damp outside, can you? You need lads that are in your team every week, and those two will be available almost every week.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Actually, not just the availability of those players, but when they are on the pitch, I think one of the big things that's happening this pre-season is they're bringing that fitness level up, because they need them to be slimmer. They need them to be able to run more. Every new manager that's been in has had that problem with the squad. They're not physical enough. They can't run enough. And there was that story about they got beat. It was against Brentford, wasn't it? They got beat against Brentford when Ten Hag was in charge, and the following day or that evening they were doing like 13 Ks or something like that. They was out on the pitch.
He did it with him, Eric, didn't he? He did the run with him.
Exactly, yeah. He came to nothing and he got fired. But do you know what I mean? He has a point where he's like, lads, you need to run a bit more, and we need you to get doing it. And that's
just
exactly
on that.
Nathan,
sorry, did you see that at half time against Leeds? They had him out doing shuttle runs. Did you see that? So I wonder if obviously it all gets monitored. I wonder if they didn't run enough. He's like, right, get out, do some more running, because you've not got to your quota. Whether that's a fitness thing, I'd love to know. To be fair, I'd love to speak to whoever's in charge of it and just why did you do that? But yeah, it's interesting. Instead of sitting down having a brew or the oranges at our time, no, get out and do some running, lads. Come on, up it.
I'm all for it.
That's what it's for, isn't it? That's what it's for pre-season. Get fit, do some running.
Exactly that, mate. And I think we'll watch each pre-season game, or we'll try our best to watch each pre-season game, so that we can do a little review afterwards, and we can come on the podcast and we can talk about what we've noticed, any little changes and any little tweaks. But do you know what? I am actually excited about the US tour, just to see what we can do, how this is going to blend. If it was on those rotten players, if it is on them, now what? They've gone. Now show me something.
Really?
Now show me what they're doing. What's your plan here with these players? And if they follow it, and if it looks like we're getting some semblance of shape, then brilliant, superb. That's all we can ask for. But until then, what we will do as we manoeuvre straight into Cropper's transfer corner, we will wish and hope that Manchester United do furnish that squad with some new players. Hit me with the jingle.
Cropper's transfer corner. See, this miles better this week. Can breathe.
Oh, it was. It's beautiful, mate. Right, so we have got Cropper's transfer corner back again, and his voice back again, which is fantastic to hear. Who have you got for us this week? I know there's a few names I'm gonna probably guess that are still taking up the same positions, but Aren't there
Very
any new
similar, yeah.
people on this list?
There are
Is there
some new
anyone new?
people. We'll start with the ones. Do you want the new ones first, or do you want the obvious ones?
Yeah.
I'd say we'll
Let's
do the
go.
obvious.
Let's
We'll
go.
tick off. Go on.
Go on. How do you want to do it? Go on. It's your corner,
Let me
mate.
tick.
Go on.
Let me quickly tick off the obvious ones, which
on.
everybody will be talking about, which is the forwards. Sesko, 70 million euros. Ollie Watkins and Nicholas Jackson. I'm just going to throw them all in the same hat because we're obviously looking at signing a forward. They seem to be the three favourites. The Sesko one looks around £70 million, €80 million, around that amount. And the Ollie Watkins ones is looking around about 40 million. They're still there, the names. The Nicholas Jackson one, I'm not even going to acknowledge, mate, because I just don't want to. My corner, like you said. Not just going to, just ignore it in the corner over there. I'm hoping it's between the two. But as we spoke before, the priority should be elsewhere, I believe. With all the other forwards going, I think they're probably your best options. That price, I wanted to discuss it with you, but I know we want to move on with that.
No. Go on.
Okay. The only what this is where I'm at with them two. Between the two of them, is my brain says Ollie Watkins is the right thing to do. You buy him, you know what you're getting, decent price, will come in, score goals, probably get you 20 more goals a season. But the big kid inside me says go and get that 6'4" animal that's from another division who absolutely batters the ball. Scores. His goals are weird. I don't know what it is about his finishing. It's just, do you know when Erling Haaland it's a ball and you think, how do you hit it like that?
Yeah.
He does the same thing, Benjamin Sesko, and you look at his finishes and he looks awkward, but you wouldn't want to play against him. So yeah, I'm just, the big kid in me says it's something new, it's something different. You know, like shiny new car. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that over there, a little Matchbox car. And it makes me get excited for him in a front three, Sesko. So yeah, that's where I'm at. My mind says no, do the right thing, get Ollie Watkins in, and that's it. But to excite you, I feel like Sesko is a good option, even more so than the Gyökeres signing. It just makes me, I don't know what it is about the kid. There's another one where, yeah, good striker.
I mean, Gyökeres, he's gone to Arsenal now, so as we're
Yes,
recording
he's
this,
done, yeah.
I think is he still yet to sign or be announced? But he's basically there.
He's had
Manchester
here we go
United United went back in for him, trying to find out if he would fancy a move, because I think they had the funds to pay for him, and he said no, I want Arsenal, which is, he's slightly older. He's 27. So he's slightly older than Benjamin Sesko, and he's got his whole career ahead of him, really. Sesko's up, what, 22, 23? Something like that?
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
20, maybe 24, Nathan.
You have it, mate. But he's, he wants to go into a project where he's going to win something or be the final part of it. He's 22, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I can understand why Gyökeres has gone there. And you can just see he's going to score against us in that opening game. It's written in the stars. But as long as Aiden Heaven scores a hat trick to cancel it out, I'll be all right. Or Chido Obi. I think I think with the Watkins thing, because Sesko, David Ornstein came out and he said that Manchester United are unlikely to sign or pursue Benjamin Sesko because his current salary and his current fee would break what Manchester United currently have in terms of budget. So unless they come down in price, they can't see it happening. So I think Watkins, he's 29, right? Watkins is 29, 30, just about to turn 30.
Yep.
I can see a succession plan there where if we had Sesko in, it would be Chido Obi that would be having to suffer from that, because you got your constant number 9. With Ollie Watkins, you've kind of got a player that's probably at the peak of their powers, but is able to pass on that type of knowledge to a younger striker. And then once Ollie Watkins leaves and goes to Saudi or wherever it is, you've got Chido Obi that can step in and do it. So I don't know. If it means Benjamin Sesko and no other players, like a midfielder, goalkeeper, I'm taking the 2-player option. Thank you very much.
So going on that, you're saying that Sesko will want a higher wage than Ollie Watkins?
Well, the whole package. So the
Right,
salary
okay.
that he's the salary he's demanding.
Signing
'Cause
on
one of the-
fees, etc.
Yeah, because one of the things that you need to keep an eye on as well, whenever these deals go through, or there's been like a hold up, and then all of a sudden they've gone through. In the small print for a lot of these deals, if you read the actual story, it says, "Oh, the agent has decided to lower his fees or their
Yes.
fees." So it's a lot of the time, it's like, I mean, it's their big time to earn money, isn't it? So they want these
Yeah.
signing on fees, and same with Gyökeres. That's the only reason Arsenal got it across the line, because he said he'll drop his fees for it. So that's why it's more expensive. So let's keep an eye on the Sesko one. I can't see it happening right now, but let's keep an eye on that one. With the Nicholas Jackson thing, and I'll quote Chris McCarty, host of the radio show that I work on for this one, but he reckons that, and I can see this happening, he reckons that towards the end of the window, we're going to see a swap deal between Garnacho and Jackson. I know.
Yeah.
And
I'd rather
I'm
have
pulling that
Nkunku
face as
than
well. Like,
Jackson's. Yeah, ooh. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. See what happens with that one. But yeah, no, thank you.
yeah,
No, thank you.
no.
But I don't know. Yeah, the Nicholas Jackson one just stinks of Chelsea just wanting to get rid of him, doesn't it? That's all it stinks of.
Well, they've got
should we
400
move on?
players in the squad, mate. They need to get rid of
Yeah,
some players.
that is a massive point. The next obvious one was Senny Lamens, the goalkeeper. I think we've been highly linked with him. 13 million euros from Royal Antwerp. I think that's a possibility, but I believe he'll just be coming in as a backup. And what that means for Bayern, I don't know whether you can move Bayern back onto Turkey. I don't know, but that we are obviously looking at him. There's been contact. 13 million euros will just probably be coming back in as a second choice, third choice even, or even being sent back to Royal Antwerp on loan. But it looks like someone that we're looking at. That's everywhere as well. Moving on to the next couple ones that I have seen a lot of stories about, but this is a centre midfielder, which is what it's to talk about. There's Portuguese outlet Abola reporting Martin Hjulmand.
Oh, yeah.
He's Sporting captain, defensive midfielder. Played 47 times for Sporting last year. Played under Ruben as well. They're reporting a fee of 40 to 50 million euros. The Sun reported 60 million buyout clause he's got. Denmark international. Bought from Lecce, £15 million. I've got his stats here. I was looking at this morning because Crops Transfer Gone, I like to look at stats and stuff like that. 28 matches last year, 2 goals, 2 assists, 10 yellow cards. The season before, 30 matches, 3 goals, 12 yellow cards. He's a guarantee. Get him on your Bet 365 as a bookie. Get him on there. Combative midfielder. When watching him, you don't particularly watch players, do you, unless you're linked with them, really. So I can't say I've seen a lot of him when I've been watching the games. But looks like a combative midfield. Denmark international. He looks a bit leggy to me, Nathan. Like the standard of the Premier League might be a bit too quick for him. Big, powerful, looks good on the ball, can shoot. I just question whether his athletic ability would be enough.
And that's the whole point about this window. That's the whole point about this window. The whole window is supposed to be about bringing up the energy levels again, because we just kept getting overrun. And also, not just energy levels, but the strength and athleticism of the players, because we've got a soft belly, and we even saw that against Leeds. That young lad who plays on the wing, is it Ramaziri, the player that they've just purchased?
Yep.
Bloody hell, he was fast. But we made him look fast as well, because our midfielders were running through treacle trying to get back to get near him. So, yeah, bringing up those levels, that floor of athleticism is going to be crucial this window for sure. Mm. Is there anyone else on your list?
There is, yeah. Just going back to, he is only 25-year-old, but he reminds me of the type of player. Do you know, like when Brighton and Brentford bought these midfielders, and you're like, where have they got him from? And then they turn out to be good or garbage, and then they just move them on. It struck me as that type of transfer watching him. The next midfielder I've got is Gabriel Sara from Galatasaray. 35 million euros. Left-footed, tidy on the ball, energetic, press-resistant. Probably more like what you were looking at as a midfielder. A bit like in the Belieber mould. I don't believe he's as good as that. But that's another one that was being reported as well as another centre midfielder. I looked at him again like I always do. Yeah, it's an interesting one. 35 million euros as well to come from that league, but it's a risk you're taking and throwing him in. Not for me, but it's another one that's being reported out there. One I wanted to throw out there, which isn't actually being linked with United, but I don't know why we're not looking at him. Denzel Dumfries has got a 25 million buyout clause. Is being linked with a move away from Inter. Barcelona being linked with him. If you can get Denzel Dumfries for 25 million euro, you do it. If he's looking for a way out of Inter, would he come? I don't know. I've just got it on my notes there, copy transfer window. I saw it and I thought that'd be athletic ability down that right hand side. I'd be all over that personally.
But the issue with that is we're kind of overstocked on the right hand side. We've got Mazraoui, got Dawo, got Ahmad, even Lenny Yoro can play there in a pinch. I know they're not as good in that position as Dumfries, and they don't offer as much going up and down. But it's not an area of concern. So I can see why we're not after him. If it was still 25 million euros at the end of the transfer window, and we got all of the other players that we needed, and there was talks about moving other players on, then absolutely. Because Estupiñán's going to AC Milan for about the same price as well.
Yeah, saw that after we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Yeah, I just saw it. It cropped up. I thought I'm throwing that in there. Cropper's transfer corner. But I could, like you say, you are right. I feel he is that athletic. He's got that what we need. What the squad's missing.
Yeah.
That's just what to stand out. That's all I've got for ins at the minute because there's not much going on. Like I said, it looks like it's
Can I
midfielder, striker. Of course you can. Yeah.
He's been linked with us and will be until we sign another goalkeeper. But Emi Martinez continues to be linked to Manchester United. I think Aston Villa, because they sold their ladies team, which is again another way to launder money, and circumnavigate PSR stuff. They're not in such a bad position anymore financially, so they can actually ask for money for Martinez now, like a decent whack of cash. And I think the price that they were quoting, because he's got like 3 years left on his contract.
3 years he's got, yeah.
Yeah, they were quoting like 40 mil. Absolutely not. No thanks.
Did you see what we offered? We offered to take him on loan, didn't we, and cover his wages?
Yeah.
Why would you? It's such an insulting offer. Why would they get rid of
we just did it with Rashford. We just did it with Rashford.
Yeah, true.
True. We'll
Yeah.
let him go to Villa. So he's probably like, well, we did it last time, so how about you do it this time? Well, that's the only one. So go on, outgoings then.
So
I know we're running down here, but let's have it.
So the only out I've got on there, Nathan, is looks like there's some movement on Rasmus Højlund, maybe getting his move out of the way from the club. Maybe he wants a new challenge after being demoralised with the past couple of seasons he's had. Atlanta and Lazio considering the move. United would demand an extra 35 million euros, but the Italian clubs would prefer a loan to buy, as his wages are difficult to fit into there. Yeah. It looks like maybe Rasmus is looking to get a move back. I personally wouldn't mind him going out on loan next season. But I don't think that'd be an issue. I think he could. There's potential there with the kid, isn't there? I don't know if you think the same. I think there is a potential. I just think his confidence got shot in a terrible United team, and he was asked too much too soon. So I think a loan back to Serie A would suit him. Or even another Premier League club. If you just let him go out on loan, let him get more games, more experience, without the pressure that gets put on kids at this club, which is ridiculous. From people like us as well, mate. You know what I mean? We put pressure on them as well. I think a loan move would suit everyone. I wouldn't be too quick to force him out the door on a permanent move. But yeah, that's the only out I've got there.
I think going back to Serie A is probably his best option because he's really struggled in the Premier League. And I think Premier League opposition, as we already know, they're touch tight. That ball bounces, they want it straight away. And he doesn't have that composure to bring the ball down and like take it past the man. He's already tangling with players because they know it upsets him, and they know he's got a trampoline foot and it'll just bounce off his first touch. So they're always on that second ball. So without being, he may come good for another team, but being brutal assessment over last season, he's not good enough to lead that line. And if Manchester United have any aspirations to climb that table, they need a striker that's going to be putting goals in left, right, and centre with only 1 or 2 chances. Right then, much shorter episode than usual, but that's down to the fact that I've had about 2 hours sleep and I'm ready to fall asleep on my keyboard. But thanks again, Mr. Paul Cropper, for coming on the show. Pleasure having you as always. Pick up your appearance bonus on the way out the door. And we will be back next week. Do follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And what's the other one? Oh, Substack, where we've got a newsletter, which I'm still waiting for Cropper to send me his text over so that I can put it in, but he hasn't yet. He hasn't. Right. So I'm just going to shame him.
I'm just awful with it.
No, just write it out and I'll put it in for you. It's fine. It's all good.
I am a caveman in a United shirt. That's all I am.
That's fine. I'm pretty sure we're playing caveman football for most of this pre-season, mate. So it's all good. Right then. Okay. So thanks for listening, and we will be back again next week. United.